Now we've gone over sets and reps, let's go over exercise order. So exercise order is really important in program design because it will influence the effectiveness, safety, and the focus of the workout. And we get the sequence right, we're just going to get the most out of our clients. So let's dive into it and get the most out of it. But the first thing that we generally want to do, now these rules are all general, there's nothing like an absolute must. This is kind of like a rule of thumb. Complex movements come first. So exercises with high neurological demands, such as deadlifts, Olympic lifts, do them early in the session. We want to do it while the client is fresh because they have greater focus, they have greater coordination needs, and require greater energy expenditure. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. If someone's particularly strong, you can isolate muscles before you train with heavier, more complex lifts later on in the program. But as a general rule of thumb, 9 times out of 10, this is exactly what you're going to do. And then you want to have your simple moves later on. So your isolation exercises like biceps, hamstrings, schedule later as less demanding on the nervous system. There are some other tricks that you can use, like doing hamstring curls before you do squats, because the hamstring curls don't actually fatigue you for squats and warm up the knees really nicely. But these are going to be very, very specific to certain situations. This is a 90% rule of thumb. Now, the next one is look at cumulative fatigue. Okay, so generally what you want to do is avoid exercises that generate a lot of fatigue before doing high speed or explosive performance. So if you do heavy deadlifts before high rep box jumps, you're probably not going to get as much out of the box jumps. I wouldn't be so much worried about injury as I am worried about performance, because the human body is quite resilient. Getting injured is actually quite a multifactorial experience. A lot of things contribute to it. So we want to make sure that performance is optimized more so than anything else. We also want to focus on the priority of the client. Okay, so target muscle gets trained first. So if you're doing a hypertrophy client who really wants to pack on size on their shoulders, even though bench press may be a more complex exercise, doing lateral raises first will be ideal because it's going to focus on what the client needs. You get the most amount of recovery and the most amount of hypertrophy over the muscle that you train first. So the example here is calf development. Do calves first. And then if it's a strength goal, obviously the exercise that you want to demonstrate that strength in, if it's a deadlift, if it's a squat, a bench press, needs to be trained first. And then with advanced techniques, as we talked about a little bit earlier, you can use these for advanced lifters. So I use these if someone's got like a little bit of back twinge or something like that, and they still want to load their squats up and develop their quads. I might do something like, leg extension, leg press first, then finally put squats at the end of the program so they can pre-fatigue those muscles quite significantly. And then when they go to actually load them in the training program, then it is happy days. Okay, they can get like a really good stimulus from using a lighter weight and don't have that injury risk or that high amount of systemic fatigue because they're using lighter weights. So here's some really easy guidelines that we can use for exercise order. Start with neurologically demanding, follow with the compounds, process the isolation, then conclude with stability or conditioning work. This formula, 9 times out of 10, will be perfect for most clients to get the results that they're after. So if you see this, know that it's a pretty damn good program. Now, there's lots of different things that you can do around it, but if you follow those rules, particularly these ones here, you're going to find that you get really good programming for clients. And if they have something that they really want to focus on, simply slide up the top, put it first, and you're good to go.